Well, hello everyone. You have right here is a set of Christmas lights right here that I went ahead and was using that from this last Christmas of 2017, and you have right here of like these sets of lights right here, which you're ready to put them back in the storage, but still that you have right here two sets, so I say two strands of lights, and basically if you're like Warren to where that. Why does it seem so easy just to put them on, and other than taking them off seems like you just gotta, dig it out or maybe pull harder. I'm like, yeah, of course you're supposed to be more gentle with the lights, but still that if we're talking about maybe two sets of lights right here, then it seems like you're like wanting toward how do the sets form any sort of knot? You're like wanting toward how it seems like it was not too long ago. Whenever you untangle the set of lights, you say the strand of lights, and then you were able to put them on a Christmas tree, or you're able to use them to decorate, for any source of decoration of some sort. But still, that we wanted toward it. Why is it that it seems like that these strands of lights seem to get tangled up very easily? And one of those could be is to where, that. Especially if we're talking about two sets. If you multiply that, times maybe 3 or 4 or something like that, you're talking about a big knot to where one cord from one side gets tangled up and with the other set, and so you're like wanting toward it one cord, one cord right here. That if it's like it seems like it's all in one strand of lights right here, but then whenever it's combined to another set, and then that's whenever that we know about tape and glue, that something's not supposed to stick together. Whenever they stick together, then you're trying to get them apart, and you're trying to get something separated and trying to combine into a group. So you likely say that the lights are basically going into a group whenever they go on a tree, right? But then whenever you're dividing them into their own groups, and it seems like that's pretty difficult to do. And especially if there's like a place where you can plug another set in, and you're like wanting to that there is a plug-in right there, and then on here that there's even a place where you plug the lights in right there, and then there's another plug-in on this side. So whenever you're combining about 3 or 4 different strands of lights together into a group of lights just to decorate a house or a tree or something, you one or two, that why is it, it could be very difficult, and especially, I got some bulbs on about 3 of the, these 2 sets of lights right here that, they don't even work actually, but still, that if anybody wanted to wear that, what's the best ways of how to, if something's glued together, what's the best ways of how to get it apart? How to remove a certain, layer or so of if you're trying to take something apart or trying to disassemble something just to put it back in the storage. And you're like wanting to where it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this whenever, whenever it came out of the box, of course, it may have been something like this. Whenever it got on a tree, it was more into like what's called a single line of showing crystal clear lights of colors and all that, but still, that whenever you're taking it down, it seems like they all go back into a knot, like they are basically these 2 sets of lights right here. And I guess if we think about this, it's like whenever we connect 2 or 3 sets together, it's basically that it's all about the sets of lights trying to get along with. There's 2 different strands, like you got the colored and then you got the crystal clear. But then trying to get them separated seems to be a little bit more difficult than you were to where, all right, now, no matter if the lights are enjoying their honeymoon or if they're dating or just enjoying their holiday cheer, okay, it's time to go back in the storage. But, anyway, but that's something that, since I was young, that I always, a lot of times, it seems like, every year, if the lights had been, if used Christmas lights had been in the box for a long period, for about maybe 8 months or so, and some of the bulbs that even need to be replaced, and maybe a fuse that needs to be replaced. And I know that anybody here that where exactly are the fuses, and I know yeah, the fuse that we see right here, that yeah, that and then I know they say that you'll use a for yeah, 125 volt fuse. So yeah, that about every 4 years or so, that it's recommended if you're going to reuse a set, that it's please make sure that it's safe, the fuses are good and the bulbs are good. And I know that it's not recommended to use a damaged, broken set, even though if you feel like you think that that's all you got. But still, though, that these Christmas lights, we know that since we were a kid, that we treated them a little bit like toys, but they're not toys. I guess you could say that kind of like a remote control car. That a remote control car is like a toy that if anything that's going to be using battery or any source of breakable items, especially if it's damaged or defective. But making sure everybody has a nice, safe holiday here, and thinking is that yeah, if you come towards a strand of lights that is defective, and then you're like thinking that if you're going to still use that anyhow, but still that you're likely also warned too that whenever you take the bulbs down and thinking that okay, by next year this is what you're going to go ahead and try to do. Is that maybe order some more sets, and maybe that try to fix a set or two, but still that whenever you take a set of Christmas lights down, that you do wonder that why is it that the strand of lights right here, that it seems like it was not too long ago whenever you got them divided into their own group, but whenever you combine them all, and it seems like that they're harder to get apart. And we have right here is this set right here, but does that say 120 volts or something like that? I'm like, yeah, I'll have to maybe check again, but yeah, two separate lights. I mean, yeah, you can connect them all together, but yeah, if anybody warns us to where that does that kind of remind me a little bit of a Lincoln Logger Lego set? Lego sets, whenever you combine about 4 or 5 different Lego sets, can you really combine them to where that they can all form into one source of project? But anyway, I guess you could say that not all electronic things are what you call it. They say that you may treat them like toys, but they're not really toys. They're what you call that they are, how you want to pronounce it, they are, I don't even know if they're instruments, but they are basically a source, a way to how to celebrate the holidays. And I guess a lot of people say that's basically what they are, a way of how to celebrate the holidays. That nobody under under certain parent guardians. I'm like, yeah, under adult supervision, to where that please don't rest is that use caution whenever you're handling these. And so yeah, that looking at these Christmas lights, and you're like, Warren, to where Christmas lights are they kind of like lamps? Whenever you put up a lamp, it seems like that you don't need a whole lot of assistance trying to take the lamp out of the box and put it up on a dresser or wherever you're planning on putting a lamp at. But still, that with Christmas lights, though, that yeah, you risk of electrical shock, and like there are a lot of toys, a lot of toys nowadays that have those warning signs. But still that. But one of those could be is like if something winds up into a knot, then yeah, that's something. If anybody were warned to where to make sure it's unplugged first, and to make sure it's not around. You're not around water or anything. That you're in a dry area, and a place where you have enough room too, just to be able to work the lights. But other than that, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.